Hello and welcome back to the Solopreneur Insights series, where I share with you the full real-time behind the scenes of growing my 2 online businesses, from my coaching to my app startup Spotlight. In this series, I'm taking you behind the scenes and showing you exactly what it looks like to run both of these businesses. And today we are diving right in with my content bank and how I actually organize my content, repurpose my content, and actually manage my content across these 2 businesses. So today I'm going to be giving you a tour of my Airtable and showing you exactly where I keep all my content, what I actually store, how I store it, and how I actually repurpose from this as well. But firstly, let's dive into what this actually looks like. Why should you actually be repurposing your content in the first place? And why should you actually be saving it in the first place into a content bank? So a content bank is essentially a place where you will store all of your content, anything which you are posting, sharing with your email list. You'll go ahead and store that in there with a title. You'll share any graphics which you created there and the actual caption as well, and essentially just store this there so you're able to come back to it later, reuse it later for another platform, for even the same platform months later, for the next time you're launching that offer, whatever that is. It is so important to have this in your business, because this is really what takes your content from being something that you continuously are on the hamster wheel of and need to continuously create brand new things from scratch and starting from a blank sheet every single time, versus actually being able to go back into here and being able to pull from past posts, whether from inspiration or whether for your next launch, having all of the content already written. It is such a game changer for simplifying your business. And as well, one thing I talk about a lot, it's a big part of my signature framework, the Freedom Field framework, is compounding marketing. And that is the idea of your marketing not being a one and done type thing of we write a post, we put it out, and then 24 hours later, it's essentially dead. We might as well have not created it. It hasn't really done anything. It hasn't built on anything. Instead, actually what we can do is we can view our marketing as something which is continuously stacking. So every single post we're creating, it goes into our content bank where we can then use it again later. We can use it for that next launch. We can use it in 6 months' time again on our Instagram. We can share it with our email list as well. We can repurpose it to LinkedIn, whatever that looks like for you. It is so important to be saving your posts and be actually repurposing these so that you're not needing to continuously be creating from scratch every single week. The more you repeat something, the more it is remembered by your ideal client and by your audience. So actually you repeating posts, you sharing the same message again, is just going to help your business. When you've refined your messaging, when you know who you're speaking to, those posts which are written so well, they really speak to your ideal client. Those are the things you should be repurposing. Those are things you should be sharing again. And they're just going to help your business and just going to help your ideal client to connect with you more and actually remember what you're saying as well. Remember your message and remember what you're trying to share and actually decide to work with you then in the first place. So now that I've sold you on the idea of what a content bank actually is and why you should have one yourself, I'm going to show you exactly what mine looks like. I'm going to put a screen grab here as well, so you can see exactly what mine looks like and you see how to create one yourself. So firstly, you can do this in literally any platform. I always used to have it in Trello, but over the last week, I've been putting it all into Airtable and it's so much better organized there, I will say. So here's what mine actually looks like. So firstly, for every single post, I will give it a title, which I can easily recognize what it's really about there. So that's really just for me to easily be able to search through, see what I'm looking for and find a certain post. Then a really important one, I will give it tags, and these are tags related to specifically what I might be searching for. So for you, I would definitely recommend tags of what types of posts. So if it's one where you're really sharing your beliefs and perspectives, if it's one where you're really teaching, for example, and then also tags for specific programs. So if it's talking about your one-to-one coaching, for me as well, some are talking about Full Body Yes Sales, my passive sales course, those types of things, you can really go through and find it very easily. I will then of course go in and add the actual caption of the post. So I will just copy and paste this exactly how it looked at the time. I'll remove any specific, if there's one thing I was talking about, for example, which was a one-time event, like I had a free masterclass, I'll just remove that section at the bottom. So I'm able to just add anything else in the future which is relevant and I'm wanting to promote or wanting to end the post on or talk about. Then I have the assets in there as well, which this is so helpful because you can also add the videos. So when I've got video reels, for example, I can add that video right into there and I'm able to re-download it next time I'm wanting to use that post with the caption right alongside it. I'll also add any graphics as well, so any carousels, they'll be added there. So essentially the post is ready to go. If it was just a generic photo, that's where there is no asset, when it was just a generic photo and I can use any single one essentially. And then finally, I will put the date that is actually posted last on. So this was when I last posted it. So again, it's really helpful for me to see with repurposing content, was this something I shared 2 weeks ago? So maybe I should wait a little bit longer, for example, before sharing it, or was it something I shared 8 months ago? And then the final status at the end is simply just whether the post is completed and has actually been posted, or whether it's something I've just been working on, has been scheduled at the moment. So that is my Airtable, and inside my Airtable. Now, one of the big questions I get asked about content repurposing is how much should I actually be repurposing? And what is almost the end goal of this, because this can look like a big waste of time to some people. And what I would always say is your end goal is just to get as much content in here as possible. And the end goal is to get to the place where you're able to fully pull from this if you want to. So if you decided, okay, I don't want to be having to write new posts every single week, I can just pull from this and I'm completely fine. If I want to write a new post, I can, but I don't need to. That's the goal of what we're trying to really get to here. In terms of how much to be repurposing, what I would say is really start off small and build it up is always the best strategy here. So if, for example, you do 4 posts a week like I do on Instagram, then maybe start with repurposing just one of those each week from your old posts from your content bank. Go in and just pick one of those, which is really relevant to your ideal client, which is really speaking to what you're wanting to speak to at the moment, and reshare that. And then as you're building up that content bank, as it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, up that to 2, then to 3, and then to 4 if you're wanting to as well for all of your posts. And do not be afraid as well to share this across different platforms. If you shared something on your Instagram 3 weeks ago, don't be afraid to share it with your email list or share it over to your LinkedIn or whatever other platforms you have. That can definitely be something to add as well. And I know you can add that in your Airtable if you choose to use that platform in particular. You can actually add in a column saying about, tag it of where did you last post this? Where has this been posted, for example? Just keep it really organized for you if you have a lot of platforms that you're posting content on. So there you have it. That is my content bank. That is a deep dive into what I actually do to repurpose content, how I do this. And I've been really focused on this, as I said, over the last week of actually going in and adding all of my old posts in. It can seem like quite a big task. It can seem like it's taking a long time and it's kind of a bit of a waste of time, but actually going back and looking at your old posts, I have literally found 200, which I feel are a really good fit still for my ideal client and for my messaging, which I can then put into that and start reusing some of those posts, and some of them are really good and I'd just completely forgotten about them because it was so long ago. So I would love to know, do you currently have a content bank, or is this something that you're going to be putting for a weekend project for yourself? Comment below and let me know if you repurpose your content, if you have a content bank, where you're currently at with that. Make sure you give this video a like and subscribe for more behind the scenes of my businesses. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.